I'm Bridget from Watertown and Will County Libraries. My choices for gift books are oldies but goodies. One is the Minnesota Goes to War by Dave Kenny, who is a Minnesota historian. One of the reasons that I like this book is because it has great pictures, though they are black and white. Here are our soldiers being sent off. It talks about some things in Minnesota that aren't so known, like Mayo clinics and Mayo hospitals' part in the scientific research for airplanes and some other tools for World War II. Can't ignore spam, and it had been a big part of the war and sustaining our troops overseas. And it also touches base on the POWs that we used in our fields in some of our surrounding areas, our German and Japanese POWs that were here. And some of them even immigrated to America. This is one of the reasons that I chose Minnesota's Go to War by Dave Kenny. It's at our library and it's also at major retailers. In recognition of our beautiful county and our structures, I'm also showing you the book called Barns of Minnesota. It's got amazing imagery, barns across the state and in our neighboring counties. Old barns and barns that have been held up and kept up a little bit nicer, but still working farms for our generational farms. This book is by Doug Oman and by Will Weaver. The story and the images are by two different people. The story in this book is an amazing tale of a generational farm, the farmers, the people they took in to help them. So if you're looking for some great Minnesota history to give for a gift or for your own coffee table collection, look into these two books. Thank you.
The Year 1000, When Explorers Connected the World and Globalization Began by Valerie Hansen. Hansen is a professor of history at Yale University. She traveled to over 20 countries to research the year 1000. Hansen's second chapter is all about the Vikings, their settlements in part of what is now Canada, their trips to Iceland and Greenland, and much more. She also tells us about the Mayans and trade throughout Mexico, Central America, South America, and even up into the southwestern U.S. Central Asia, Chinese trade, the gold trade in Africa, and the printing empire in Korea are touched on. Eminently readable and well-researched. If you like Jared Diamond's Guns, Germs, and Steel, you will like this book. My next book is How Birds Work, an illustrated guide to the wonders of form and function by Marianne Taylor. Why do owls have asymmetrical ear openings? Why do herons rest on one leg at a time? Birds boast a spectacular array of adaptations suited to their incredibly diverse diets and habitats. And you'll see this book has got incredible photos and illustrations. Beautifully done. Anybody who loves birds will, or a bird watcher will, and really enjoy this. In this in-depth handbook, discover the ways they're even more astounding than you knew, inside and out. This book has detailed analysis and illustrations to illuminate skeletons, muscles, circulation, digestion, respiration, reproduction, feathers, colors, and even patterns. And my last book today is a book of poetry. This would make an incredibly good gift. Carrying Water to the Field, New and Selected Poems by Joyce Sutphin. Sutphin grew up in Stearns County, Minnesota on a farm. Currently, she lives in Chaska, and I feel a special connection to her because of this. She's a professor emeritus of English at Gustavus Adolphus College and is Minnesota's poet laureate. Her newest poetry themes include searching for balance in a modern world, luck, hard work, and the ravages of time. She is known for her attention to language and her lyricism. I love the cover.
Hello, I'm Sarah, a librarian with the Carver County Library System, and I'm here to show you some great gift books for the holiday season, especially for readers. The first book I have, and I apologize for not having the actual book, is called Writing Wild. It celebrates 25 wonderful women writers who have spent their lives writing about nature and the outdoors. It's part travel essay, part biography, and part cultural history. Authors included are Dorothy Wordsworth, who probably accompanied her brother William Wordsworth when he wandered lonely as a cloud. We've got Jean Stratton Porter, Rachel Carson, of course, Mary Oliver, Annie Dillard, Gretel Ehrlich, who has written about both Wyoming and Greenland, Rebecca Solnit, Kathleen Jamie, who writes wonderful stories and essays about remote Scottish islands, and Helen MacDonald, who wrote H is for Hawk. This is perfect for anyone interested in the natural world, but especially good to give to adolescents and teenagers and 20-somethings who are interested and want to know more about the natural world. The great thing about this book and the rest is that you don't have to read them straight through. You can dip in, dip out. There are suggestions for further reading. The authors might be of interest, so you can seek out their other works as well. The next bunch of books I have is a series, and I apologize, we do not yet have the 2020 volumes because they're just being published, really. The series here this one is called The Best American Science Fiction and Fantasy for 2020. It's edited by Diana Gabaldon, who needs no introduction as she's a star in the fantasy world. She brings up 20 stories that explore all sorts of themes in the genre and includes authors like Victor Laval and Charlie Anders. Another series that we have is called The Best American Mysteries, guest edited by C.J. Box, who needs no introduction. We all know the mystery genre has all sorts of subgenres in it. And authors in this series include David Dean, Jeffrey Deaver, James Lee Burke, and a Minnesota favorite, John Sanford. And again, if you have a mystery writer who wants to read something different or is run out of ideas, give them this book. They can try the different authors, read further in those authors' works, and get some more recommendations and suggestions. The Best American Short Stories 2020 is edited by Curtis Sittenfeld, who decades ago came across this series and felt, as she said, like someone who had just discovered jazz for the very first time. And here we are decades later, and she is guest editing this volume. It comes with a variety of diverse writers and themes and experiences. One such author is T.C. Boyle. All right, moving to nonfiction. The Best American Science and Nature Writing 2020 is edited by Michio Kaku, who is a physicist and an award-winning New York Times writer. It's a collection of the best science and nature writing from all sorts of sources, magazines, anthologies, newspapers, and so forth. It talks about artificial intelligence, devastating accounts of the forest fires, an impending traffic jam on the moon, all sorts of good things. Another series is the Best American Travel Writing, and the upcoming volume is edited by Robert Macfarlane, who is an amazing British travel writer and natural historian. We all know that this has not been really a good year for travel, and we haven't got other places, but it's starting out with an upbeat profile of Rick Steves, whom we all know and love and is very popular here at the library. There's something for everyone. There's stories about the very harsh terrain between Mexico and the United States, a reconsideration of feel-good travel volunteerism, wistful pieces on the joys of traveling in Iceland before all the glaciers melt. There are all sorts of new destinations like Kazakhstan or Palermo or Iran or Jamaica. You'll find both tales of escapism, like being chased by bears, and also thought-provoking accounts. Okay, here's another one, and this one and the Science and Nature one, a couple of years ago I gave copies to my nephew who wants to be a writer and is studying writing in college. So it's a great example of what is seen as really good writing for guides, but it's for anyone actually who's interested in the subject. The Best American Sports Writing. Okay, all sorts of things. For instance, story about how elderly Alzheimer's patients trade baseball tales as therapy. a story about a soccer club revival in one of Mexico's most dangerous cities. Brian Burrows writes about the bloody hunt for a man-eating tiger in India. There's a revealing profile of Venus Williams and even a blistering expose of New York Patriots owner Robert Kraft. Thank you. All right, the Best American Essays, a wide-ranging series. It's all sorts of subjects and all sorts of sources. You've got all sorts of things. You've got Paleolithic cave figures, Leopold and Loeb, the Holocaust, philosophy, Shakespeare, horror, all sorts of timely stories. And finally, the last one, the Best American Magazine Writing, which is probably the most wide-ranging. It has stories, journalism, essays, and short stories, and cultural criticism from all sorts of sources. Fortune Magazine, New York Times Magazine, The Washington Post, ProPublica, The New Yorker, and it includes authors like Gia Tolentino and Arundhati Roy. Again, you'll find a wide range of subjects. The beauty of these books is that you can just dip into them, put them down, read another story, put it back down. You will also be encouraged to look further in the author's works, and also there are many, many suggestions for other authors. I know that this time is a little fraught for readers, and so nice, wide-ranging, world-ranging collection of short pieces, essays, stories, all sorts of things will be great for your favorite reader. Thank you. That's it. I'm not doing it again.
This is Susan sneaking in a book recommendation here at the end. If you have a Prince fan or super fan in your life, you're probably going to want to get them Neil Carlin's This Thing Called Life, Prince's Odyssey on and off the record. Neil was probably one of the, what counts as a friend in Prince's world. He was a, complex guy. But this shows a lot of things about him growing up that you won't see anywhere else that seem a little more true than some of the things he, talked about later and other people talked about later. Well worth it.